T. Clark here. In this video is going to go over the 2016 AP Computer Science A FRQ number 3B, I think. Yeah, 3B. So last week I did 3A, where the to be labeled, whether it's true or false, if I'm going to label it with a number or not. And now this week, or today at least, a few days later, after Friday, let's see, what am I doing for... So I'm going to assume that this works. I'm going to assume that to be labeled works correctly. I haven't been able to check it because I need for it to run, I had to have the constructor working. So we'll see if I got the to be labeled correct. But either way, I'm going to assume it's correct right now and then go to A. Okay, so A says, write the crossword constructor. The constructor should initialize the crossword puzzle grid to have the same dimensions as the parameter black squares. Okay, so I have a parameter black squares, which is a Boolean. So it looks like the same type as the to be labeled. And then each element of the puzzle grid should be initialized with a reference to a square object with the appropriate color and a number. So the number is positive if the square is labeled and 0 if the square is not labeled. Okay, so positive and then 0 if it's not labeled, probably 0 if it's black. So I need to make a bunch of squares. So I'm going to look at my square. I'm going to move this around maybe. I'm going to look at my square class. And again, I don't care about the implementation here, but for the square class, it looks like I just have the square constructor, where it'll be black and it'll have a number. So the number would be 0, or else it's a positive number. I guess if it's black, it'll be 0 too, maybe. Yeah, I guess so. Each element is a square with a color and a number. Yeah, so it'll have a number, but I guess if it's black, the number doesn't matter. I'll just assume it's 0. Okay, so I can, actually I don't need that. I can just look at the box I was looking for. So where am I at? B. So I have my box of class information, method information. Okay, so first things first, I need to set up my puzzle array. So puzzle equals new square bracket black squares dot length bracket black squares bracket 0 dot length. So it has the same dimensions. So I'm setting up the 2D array using the dimensions from the black squares. I could have set it up and I could have said int rows equals black squares dot length. Oh, looks like I misspelled something. And done like that, and then this could be number of rows, and this could be number of calls maybe. Do it on separate lines. And I think I need to spell out black squares right. I think if you have a typo on the actual AP exam, it'll be nice to you, unless you have two words that are very similar. So make sure your variable names are different. So I have a new 2D array, the same dimensions. So now I'm going to go through and I'm going to initialize each spot. So for int r equals 0, r less than rows, r plus plus. For int c equals 0, c less than calls, c plus plus. And they're parallel arrays basically, so I'm going through both the black squares and the puzzle. So I have to be labeled I need to use, and if it's labeled, I need to have the number. So I need to count or something, right? So if I look at this, I have the current number. I'll just call it current. Current starts at 1, so it starts at 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. I'm doing in row, row major. So row major means R is first, so my first row, and then each column in that row, and then the next column, and so on and so forth. So now I need to initialize the square in that row. But I'm going to do the to be labeled first. So I'm going to say, let's see, black squares needs, what does square have again? true or false is black, and then a number. So I'll say Boolean B for is black equals black squares RC. Boolean to be numbered labeled, I'll call that L, equals to be labeled RC, and then black squares. So as I typed this out, I was looking over here at what I needed. I needed the black squares or the to be labeled. It'd probably be better if I look over here at this. Okay, so then I'm gonna say if labeled, to be labeled, I'm gonna say what's my puzzle? Puzzle is my puzzle is my 2D array. So puzzle bracket R bracket C equals new square. And now I'm doing the constructor for the square, and if it's to be labeled, it's not, well, it doesn't matter. It's going to be white no matter what. So I'll just keep that B as true or false. And then the number is going to be current. And this is to be labeled, so I'll increment current. And then I'll do an else is not to be labeled. And that's puzzle RC equals new square B and then 0. And that'll be black or white. So these could all be false. I could have put false in here maybe. So if it's to be labeled, it'll be false, but it'll be guaranteed to be labeled. Or B will be guaranteed to be true or false based on the black squares already given to me. So let's run it and see if I messed everything up. So I'm gonna get myself some more space here. And again, juice mind takes a little bit longer than I'm used to. Again, I had to set up the dimensions, set up my count, loop over the rows and columns, and make sure I get my semicolons. That's what I got to do. And then I'm going to get the black squares to be labeled. If it's to be labeled, I'm going to set up a square with the current number. And there's my typo again. Black squares. I'll just click on it to highlight everything. It should be spelled the same. Okay, and then I'm incrementing the current, and then else it's not to be labeled. I just set it up with either black or white, and then 0. So it looks like I have something. I was kind of doing some fancy stuff in my constructor, it looks like. So let's see if this looks kind of anything like what we have here. So it looks like I have black, then white, 1, 2, and then black, 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 3, 4, 5. Okay, 6, then blank, blank, 7, black, 8, white, white, white. Okay, looks good, looks good. 9, oh, then it's gonna, the 10 is offsetting because it's 2 digits instead of 1, so it's everything. And it gets then a white after the 10, and then black, black, black. Looks good. Then I have 11, a white, a black, 12, white, white, black, 13, 14. And what's that? 3 black, and then 15, 2 white. Okay, it looks like it's working. It looks like my code for both of them work as intended. Okay, so that one was kind of difficult because you first had to understand what's going on, then you had to code it. But that's it for FRQ number 3B, crossword constructor in 2016. Have a good day.